Welcome to Conversations with Spirit, where we dive deep into the mystical and enchanting realms of spirituality. I'm your host, spiritual medium Lauri Albert, and together with special guests, we explore a world of spiritual insights and experiences, as well as offer captivating mediumship and oracle card readings. Tune in for enlightening conversations that will uplift your soul and expand your consciousness. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Conversations with Spirit. And here I go, sing-songing the whole thing again. I want to tell you that I do this show in conjunction with a website called evolveme.com, which is an all things metaphysical and spiritual website whose mission it is to facilitate and empower personal enlightenment to everyone that seeks it. And on this site, there are mediums, there are healers, there are classes and workshops and retreats. So check it out if you have a few moments. That's evolveme.com. So yay. All right. So in this very special episode, I feel like it's like a Doogie Howser episode. In this very special episode, my guest tonight is Jeffrey Peck. And I'm so excited that Jeffrey is back with us because this conversation, the topic for tonight is about feeling disconnected from spirit. Okay. So if you're feeling a little sort of stunted in your spiritual growth, or on your journey kind of altogether, this is exactly where you need to be tonight, because we're going to just discuss it all, I think.
Yes.
So welcome, Jeffrey. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Lauri. Thank you so much for having me. I love to hang out with you.
I know. You never know where the conversation is going to go, right?
Yes.
So much fun. So much fun. So let's just say, I'm going to make a bold statement that we all have been at this place where you kind of feel like spirit has kind of left you for a little while. And if you feel kind of alone, right? So exactly, right? You understand what I'm saying, Jeffrey?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. It's a very interesting place to be. You know?
Yeah, it is. And quite often it just sucks. You know?
It does.
It just sucks. You find yourself feeling alone. You find yourself feeling detached from spirit altogether.
Yeah.
You feel yourself, and what usually accompanies it for me, with me, is, it tends to be in a little bit more of a down mood, depression state. We all ebb and flow.
Yeah.
And it can hit us in grief.
Yeah.
In grief, we can completely unintentionally cut ourselves off from spirit, just because we're just hurting so badly, and with all of our energy is going to here, and that's okay. But we've all been there.
Well, what's interesting is that I feel like some of the people that are on here already they're starting to comment. Yes. Michael Roberts says, yes. Spirit Detective says, how did you know? I love that. Cheyenne, we've got Linda, we've got a whole bunch of people on Instagram. Stephanie, J Perez, NY91, Allie, Joanna, Trish, and Kristen Kelly. Nice to see you guys.
Hi, everybody.
It's nice to see everybody. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a real thing. And oh my gosh, Linda says yes. Right? But there is hope. And I think that's what, I feel like that we should start off by talking about what you might be feeling like. But I want to say, we're going to give you hope, because there are things, sort of little things that you can do to make yourself feel better. Mm-hmm. So for me, I'm just going to go ahead and jump in.
Go. Yeah.
For me, it's kind of like, I remember I was at a development circle, and I was like, okay. I was like, all right, everybody else is getting stuff, and I'm just kind of sitting here. Oh. I felt like you were saying a minute ago, like you felt alone. Yes. That's exactly how I felt. I felt alone. I felt sort of abandoned.
Yeah.
I felt why? And this is before I knew anything about how this works. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But I felt like, why is spirit doing this? Like, does spirit not love me anymore? You know?
Yeah.
So that's exactly how I felt. So Linda is saying the same thing. Hope is the best thing ever to help a broken heart, for sure.
True.
So what did you feel like when you were going through this?
You know, there have been so many times.
Yeah.
So many times.
Yeah.
And there are I think that there are different purposes for these moments of feeling empty almost, I think for purposes. But for instance, like doing this work as long as I have now, I have noticed the real ebb and flow where we truly feel that connection to spirit. We feel it all around us at times. We feel like we can feel lit up. We're on fire, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then there are times where it's crickets.
Yeah.
And what I've found in those times that more often than not, we're leveling up.
Yeah.
We're being directed to our next level in our evolution, in our spiritual evolution, our psychic or spiritual senses evolution, all of that stuff. We're constantly expanding.
Yeah.
So I do feel that that's one of the big things when we're conscious and aware, and when we hear crickets, okay, being leveled up. And here's the thing, in another period where, you are just feeling the depression for whatever reason, and you're not feeling connected and you feel abandoned, you feel a little bit more of the victim within you, where you do feel like that you're going to throw a temper tantrum, and, you're screaming out all these prayers and help me. And, anybody that's listening, anybody that's walking by, but it's in those moments too, we just have to remember we are never, ever, 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 ever alone, ever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Like, if we truly could see the amount of support we have in spirit with us right here, right now.
Yes.
There's this what's the word I'm looking for? Not misnomer, misguided notion that, spirit is out there, or heaven or the other side is up there. You know what I mean? And
that is so true.
Right here. And if we literally could see what was with us, we would never, ever think twice.
Yeah. And you know what?
Me,
that is, oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, so for me, it's just when I'm feeling that alone and that abandoned and that temper tantrum-y, I have to remind myself that in those moments.
Yeah. That's what's so amazing. When we realize that spirit isn't something that's out there looking at us. Spirit is all around us. God, Jeffrey, seriously, that is probably the most important thing that we can say tonight. Spirit is all around us within us all the time. Oh my God. That was just like, just went, woo.
Yeah.
Amanda just says one forgets. One
does. We
always
do.
Good to have a reminder. We are not alone.
We absolutely do.
And then she says team effort. And you know what? Thank you so much for saying that, Amanda, because that is the truth. That's why I wanted to do this show about this, because it is about all of us working together.
Totally.
So, I feel like I'm up on a soapbox today. What's going on?
Totally.
And I think that the other point is not allowing sort of fear to take over,
Oh, for sure.
You kind of got to stay on that. You kind of got to stay in that higher vibration in regarding it too, don't you think?
Oh, completely. However, like for me, I know there are times when I just cannot muster a high vibration, no matter how much I try.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
And that's okay. That's totally okay. If I've got to sit around in my own mud for a while, like Pigpen on Charlie Brown, so be it. What?
Yeah.
I'll do it with pride.
Yeah. But you know what? That's important to do. You have to, if you're feeling whatever you're feeling and your vibration is low and you're not feeling so amazingly great.
Yeah.
That's okay to sit in it, because you've got to understand it.
Ooh.
It's
true. And the thing is, the most beautiful thing out of this afterwards, when you're coming through it, like you can't know one without the other. So once you've experienced that deep, dark, muddy, dank, stinky, depressing,
Right.
place where you threw temper tantrums and like,
Yeah.
where is everybody?
Yeah.
Like to feel the connection when you come out of it, and that light and that increased vibration and frequency, like it's night and day. And you're like, oh, of course.
Yeah. 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 And it's important to just keep trying and
Mhm.
keep trying. I mean, I guess that's really what I want to say,
Always. Mhm.
because spirit is always going to be there
Yeah.
no matter what.
Mhm.
You are never, and I say this even before, and it's funny because my new students, the ones just blossoming, they're like, why do you keep saying that? You know what I'm saying? It is
Yeah.
like, why do I keep saying that? And I keep saying it because it's going to happen to you, because it happens to everybody,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
we are all here to lift each other up.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah.
And when it first happened to me, I hadn't had this conversation with
Yeah.
anybody. So I didn't know what was happening, and I thought it was all over. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. I'm not really a medium after all.
it's all over. It's all she wrote.
Right. Yep. Yep. Yep.
But
What did you do?
yeah.
Did you talk to somebody? Did you how did you get out of it?
The early days when I really didn't understand. I didn't understand.
Yeah.
I had one lady, probably about 17, 18 years ago. She told me to maintain a constant dialogue with spirit, no
Okay.
matter what it is.
Okay.
So, and that stuck with me. It stuck with me forever, every day since.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in those early days, before I really understood what was happening, or that it was normal and
Yeah.
okay, I mean, I was throwing a full-on temper tantrum with spirit. And going from having this connection where you just have these answers, and you don't have that, you don't feel alone, you feel supported, you feel it's magical,
Yeah.
and when that goes away, I was throwing cards, like like crazy, and what's so funny is in those times you keep getting, you always, the patience card keeps coming up. Patience,
Yeah.
patience. Or my other favorite, the card in one of these decks, in this deck, it's the card that says, you know what to do. Like,
Yeah.
really? I'd be asking these questions and I get that card, you know what to do. Well, okay. So
Yep.
yeah, I would just, back then I was, young and a toddler spiritually. And so I just threw a fit. And
Yeah.
then I realized one day, all of a sudden, I was reconnected again, and I felt it. And I felt them, and the synchronicities started to happen one right after another. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, and the thing is, they were happening the entire time.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
They always do. It's just there's something happening. Like I feel like that a lot of times it's downloads, sometimes it's downloads. Sometimes it's just us getting our bearings. I mean, gosh, I remember that feeling too. And it's very scary. And you think to yourself, okay, I'm not a medium anymore, and it's okay. I mean, you have to, and I remember like, well, maybe I shouldn't go to these development circles anymore. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do that. But you got to just keep moving forward. And as Spirit Detective says here, says, trust the process. I know. And then Spirit Detective writes, trust the process. Ugh. And I totally get that, right? Because it's frustrating because we want as humans, we want to like proceed at our own rate. Don't you think?
Oh,
We want to proceed. I want to do it my way.
well, that's
No.
just it. That's just it. I often talk about that too, where we can so easily block our process by having these demands and expectations of how we believe it should unfold.
Yeah. Yeah.
And back then I didn't even realize I had demands and expectations. But I did, I expected it was gonna, roll out the way I saw back then was, Doreen Virtue. I was like, I should be communicating like she is.
Yeah.
You know?
When you first started, did you like go gung ho? And were you like,
Oh,
okay, so I'm going to do it. This is my thing. And let's move along,
ravenous. I could not stop. I
Yeah.
could not. Every workshop, every book, every course, class, you name it, in every
Yeah.
spiritual bookstore in the Phoenix and Scottsdale area, I was a fixture in all of them.
Yeah. Yeah. Cause I think I read all of my friends. And this is what I tell my students to do too, is like read all of your friends, read everybody you can,
Mhm,
because when you read your friends, that's the hard part.
mhm.
When you
Oh,
read a
for sure.
stranger, it's easy because you don't know them,
Yeah.
so there's no preconceived stuff in there,
Well, it's true, and
Mhm.
when we have like what I tell my friends and family is, I love you too hard. I
Yeah.
am too invested in what I want your answers to be. So it's really hard to discern what
Yeah.
is spirit versus
Mhm.
what's in here. And I want you to be successful and happy and, free.
Yep. Yep.
So that's what I'm going to reach for.
Yeah. Yeah, for
you
sure,
know,
for sure. Now, here's the thing too. Tell me what you think about this. This isn't just for mediums and psychics and energy healers or whatever. This is like for everybody, on your own personal spiritual journey.
yeah.
You might be feeling abandoned sometimes,
Mhm, mhm.
and that's okay.
Oh, and more than just by spirit,
Yeah.
because when we are on this journey, as you know, people start to drop away. Friends that
Yeah.
you thought were going to be friends until you are in the old folks' home together will
Yes.
start to disappear, and
Yep.
and then so not only are you feeling abandoned by spirit, but you're like literally feeling abandoned by the people that you thought were going to love you your entire
Yeah.
life, and
Yeah.
that's a big piece in this too.
Yeah. Did you sort of step away from some people when you first started doing this work?
Well, yeah, they stepped away from me.
Yeah.
And it was very hard. It was very hard for me. It was
Yeah.
very hard for me. I struggled with abandonment and betrayal from childhood.
Yeah.
And so working through that through my 20s and 30s with therapists, and
Yeah.
then it happening all over again in my late 30s,
Oh my God.
it's like spirit or my soul is saying, hey, here's your chance.
Yeah.
Here's your opportunity
Yeah.
to respond rather than react.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I still reacted at times. I still
Of
reacted and
course.
threw a fit and.
Because we're human,
Yeah, for
we're
sure.
human. We are, I hate to keep saying that, but
Yeah,
but we are like human beings. I mean, sorry, we are spiritual beings having that human experience.
yeah.
So we have to embrace all of that. We
Mhm.
have to embrace all of this junk. We
Yeah.
have to embrace all of the joys, all of the sorrows. We have to embrace it all.
Oh,
You
completely.
know? So
Completely. Especially, if this is what your work is supposed to be, we do have to get to that point where we truly embrace all of it, all of that trauma and the wounds and the shadows and the all of that difficult because
yeah,
it's in all of that where we connect with people who need us,
yeah,
and
yes,
we are able to empathize, and that compassion, the lens of compassion, we know what it feels like, and we know where they are.
yeah,
And so yeah, we
yeah,
absolutely, I think that every human being has to,
yeah,
period. However, when we're doing this work, it's one of the first things that I noticed was, recognizing all within me, within others, in,
yeah.
that mirror reflection.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my gosh, beautifully said. Now, I want to read a couple comments because this is really kind of interesting. Trish says, it would be so amazing to feel all the spirit that is around us. So I just find that really fascinating because, yeah, it's true. Wouldn't it be great to feel that 24/7, But if we did, somebody told me one time that yeah, it would be great to like be in meditation for hours in the morning, go out and do your errands, come back and back into meditation and la 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 la. Yeah, sure, it'd be great. But guess what? You're not having the experience that you're supposed to have here. you know what I mean, as the human, you know. So I think that that's really important to like kind of point out, you know. And then Linda McKenna says it can be a rude awakening. Yes,
Yeah.
it can.
Oh yeah. And it was.
Yeah.
Whew.
Yeah.
I mean, that's, you know, talk about dark night of the soul. That's one of them.
Yeah. So where did I hear somebody say that? Were you talking about that the other day or something? How did I hear Dark Night of the Soul? That came out like, how do I know that? Oh my God, that's so weird. I have never heard that term before, but I heard somebody say it the other day, and now
Really?
you just said it. That's crazy. Okay, so what is the Dark Night of the Soul?
Dark night of the soul is that period of life where we are just racked with pain and lost and unsure of what to do, where to go. We're
Yeah.
struggling, like abandonment. Maybe we just went through a horrendous divorce and lost our career at the same time. Like,
Yeah.
well, I'll give you an example. In 2008, I was doing mortgages in the 2000s. So in 2008, we all know what happened with the real estate world and the banking
Yeah.
world.
So you left that.
I didn't leave it. I went down in flames with
Oh,
it.
oh no.
You know, I lost my career. I lost my house to foreclosure. I lost my car to repossession. I lost an 11-year relationship all at the same time.
Oh my God.
So what happened afterwards? Dark soul. I mean, dark night of the soul, because I was so lost and I was so scared and I was so confused and just like, what do I do? Of course, you know, looking back, the universe will remove that which no longer serves us.
Yeah.
And all of that had to go. And the thing is, I knew none of that stuff was working the whole time. I was getting the messages over and over and over.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I was holding on tight. I was leaving ethereal claw marks and everything I was holding on to. I'm like, no, I'm not going to let go. But I had to.
Yeah. 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 Oh my gosh. And it's so interesting because that makes me want to point out that if you deny it and deny it and deny it, Spirit's going to make it happen anyway. So you guys will just like
and it's going to be the Tower card times infinity. You know, and that with everybody knows the Tower card is that state of chaos and confusion and the castle coming down, because it has to be rearranged. It has to be rearranged for our own growth, our own expansion, and where we're going, our purpose. And that's looking back, you know, I'm so grateful for all of those dark nights of the soul, because it's in those moments where we exponentially grow.
Yeah. That's so amazing. What a beautiful concept. I mean, I'm sorry. I know it's like, I shouldn't really like it, but oh my God. I mean, I love that. That is so beautiful because it's, well, you know, it's true. Sometimes we need to experience that inner, and you know what? Would you call it shadow side? Would you call it your shadow self?
Well,
Not exactly. It's a little bit more
shadow was coming out all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, I was reacting from my victim archetype on my insides. My victim archetype was online. You know, and I was just miserable, and I was, you know, not taking responsibility for, you know, my part in any of that right away. And I was reaching for, you know, medication, you know, to kill the pain.
Yeah.
That's shadow, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah.
That is incredible, you know? Wow. What huge lessons, you know? So did you find yourself like meditating more, you know, maybe when this whole, you know, when you started feeling it, or like, what did you feel like after you go down to the bottom level?
So
did you find
as
yourself?
spirit, listen to this, as spirit would have it. And I mean, I knew then how blessed I was. I was very grateful, but still stuck in the victim mode and the, oh my God mode. And I lost so many best friends, and I lost my partner, and I, you know, I all of that. But how it happened for me was I ended up on Maui in a friend's guest house for 8 months. That's where I lived after this crash and burn, and that's where I recovered. So did I meditate all the time? No. I
Yeah.
tried to, I cried all the time. I cried.
Yeah.
I would have crystal grids. I would light incense. I did a lot more praying, you know what I mean? Where I was talking to the
Yeah.
universe rather
Yeah.
than meditating where I was listening to the
Yeah.
universe.
Yeah.
So, yeah, you know, and you just get through it how you need to get through it. And there's no right or wrong way. And if you feel like you're not meditating enough, there's no need to feel shame or guilt, you know, just sit down and try to, if you get 30 seconds, great.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Right. Exactly. Exactly. You know, what's really funny is that I'm sitting here thinking about how, my relationship with my spirit team, my guides, or whatever you want to call them, you know, I mean, people call them all kinds of different things, right? Um, it's so interesting because I will find myself sometimes like talking to my guides and sort of yelling at them and being like,
Oh yeah.
what the heck is going on? Like, why am I going through this? Like, why is this happening like this? You
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
And when I talk about it with other people that are, you know, spiritual and stuff, they say, "Oh goodness, how do you do that? Why would you do that?" And I say, "Because it's being real, because it's me being me, you know?
Mhm.
It's me being what feels right for me at the time."
Mhm.
So, isn't that interesting? And you
Mhm.
mentioned it before, you had a temper tantrum. Because you
Oh,
mentioned that, I'm like,
totally.
"Oh my god, I totally get that," you know?
Totally.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. And we've got so many people here. We've got medium Cheryl. He's here. Hi,
Hi,
Cheryl.
Cheryl.
We love our Cheryl, right?
Yes, we do.
I mean, seriously. So Spirit Detective says, I have bitched my guides out too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Because you know what? Sometimes you just, and it's okay to do that. I mean, I hate to say it. It's not like you want to scream at them all the time. That's not the point of that. But sometimes when you just are at your wit's end or whatever, it's just kind of like, what? You know, you just kind of go, oh,
Yeah, well, you know what? Here's the thing. You know, when we are going something through something that is so life altering and life changing and life, I mean, all the rugs are pulled out.
yeah,
And rock bottom that's where you're left, and you got Tweety birds flying around your head, you know. Anger is a normal and healthy emotion. And if you come at it from the place where you really do need to throw a temper tantrum and you
yeah,
have to throw every expletive and F-bomb at
yeah,
spirit to
yeah,
get through it, you know, that's sacred anger. Let's get it out, get it. They don't care, you know,
yeah,
and that's part of like how that phrase is where, you know, in the Bible, God says, give it to me. I'll take it. And that's
yeah,
how it looks sometimes, us
yeah,
giving it to spirit, you know,
yeah,
and
yeah.
that's okay. That's totally okay.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh, that is so beautifully said. So beautifully said. Oh my gosh. And then Spirit Detective says anger is a form of release. So
Yes.
yeah. So we've got Stouffer Cavins.
Hi,
Hello.
Stouffer.
And we've got Sharon and Amanda. We've got so many people here, you guys. Thanks for being here. This is such an important conversation. You know what? I feel like you guys are gonna laugh, but I really feel like Spirit wants me to pull us all a card, okay, in relating to this, right?
Yes.
So if you're feeling, oh my God, screaming into the earth, there you go. All right, so I'm going to pull a card and we'll see what Spirit has to tell all of us about this. Oh my gosh, this is so interesting. You guys, check this out. Okay, so I pulled the
Oh.
Mystic Meadow and then it says Sanctuary. Oh my gosh, look at all of the animals. Okay, so there's a ton of animals in there. There's a fox, a bear, and a rabbit, a hare, I guess I should say. I mean, okay, so here's what this makes me realize. You guys, this makes me realize that we are our own sanctuary. You know, I really feel like that Spirit is telling me to kind of share that we are our own sanctuary. When we go within and when we give it all up to Spirit, if you're having a bad time, and it doesn't even have to be that like you feel like, you know, like you're not a medium anymore, or you are a medium and you're, you know, whatever. It doesn't have to be in terms of that. But when you feel like down and alone, we are our own sanctuary, you guys. Oh my
Truth.
gosh. Wow. Do you have anything you want to add to that? That's just
The card that came up is synchronicity and destiny.
destiny.
So yes, you know, all of that, which put us into this chaos and rock bottom,
Yeah.
you know, is synchronous in our spiritual growth, in our spiritual evolution. Like when I said earlier, how grateful I am for my dark nights of the soul, you know, when the universe pulled every rug, you know, that just wasn't working for me.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful because I wouldn't be where I am today. I wouldn't be who I am today. I wouldn't be able to talk about this like I can today.
Yeah.
And to be able to talk about this on forums like we have, Lauri, it's just, it's so important. And to have these safe spaces and to help others realize this is just life, you know, it's just part of it, you know, it's just part of it. And it's okay to be messy and to be flawed and to be a real mess.
Yeah.
Totally okay. Because the synchronicity and all of it is leading us to our destiny, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
that sanctuary is absolutely within us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You know what? It's so interesting. You just reminded me of something. My friend who isn't in this work, she said to me one time, and this is like, she says it all the time. It's like one of her little saying, you know, how we all have things that we say, right?
Yeah.
Her thing that she always says, you know, there is beauty in the mess.
Uh-huh.
And she took that on when she was going through her divorce. And it was like a big deal, you know, her going through this divorce. It was a whole, obviously, I mean, it's, you know, nobody takes it lightly, I would assume, you know. But what's interesting about that is that if you look at what it really is that's percolating in there, maybe it is something beautiful. Maybe it is something that you're going to see about yourself. Maybe if you, pardon me, maybe if we go in deep and we start to really ponder, take a walk and just like get out of your space and move forward and or do something different just to get yourself out of that space. And then all of a sudden things will start to come to you, you know? Yeah, it's really amazing. Oh my gosh. And then Michael Roberts says, quitting 3D world is a void, but sanctuary is what I'm doing. Oh my God. Fantastic. Fantastic. I love that. Love that. Choosing hope over doubt, you know, that's so important. So important. Yeah. So
it really is. You know, when we are going through life, you mentioned the divorce. Oh, darling, I went through my divorce almost 5 years ago, and honestly, I thought the Dark Night of the Soul in 2008 was bad. Holy mackerel! And this was, you know, 4 to 5 years ago. Oh my stars! Yeah, again, that beauty in the mess becomes more and more evident the more you recognize that this was necessary.
Right.
Regardless of how deeply you held on to the hope and the dream, you know, or that maybe you thought you could work through it or whatever, you know, we all have these contracts with other people. And we have these experiences with other people where, you know, we might not be their, you know, knight, you know, we might be their devil. And others are, you know, our knights are devils. But anyway, you know, when we really get to that place, when we're in that mess and we start to take hold of our own selves on the inside, we start to light up. That little pilot light gets lit.
Yeah.
And it's in that light on our inside where we start to find our own empowerment through this again. We start to look at the bigger picture with the more spiritual lenses, like, okay, all right, getting honest with ourselves. Like, all right, you know what? This was not working. It wasn't working here. It wasn't working there. I have recognized that I was a toxic codependent. And so they're shedding light on that. Okay, let's work at that. Okay, dialing up the therapist and life coach again. Here we go.
Yeah. Yep.
There are these life themes that we are here to work through and grow and And, as fate would have it,
Uh-huh.
we are fated with these people that we chose to be that for us.
Yeah.
But it is our destiny to move through it and grow and expand and heal and then help others. Because here's the thing, we all hold a different part of the manual. Many of you have heard me say this before. We all hold a different piece of the manual. And when we recognize somebody in front of us going through something similar, we go, "Oh, I can help you. I have the book. I can help you."
Yeah.
And that's how we're in service with each other,
Yeah.
just in those little moments.
Yeah. And that's what I love. Honestly, I love about this whole conversation, because we're shining light on it, because there are so many people that just really don't understand that, there's so much support to be had in this world, in whatever form you want it to be in. Like, okay, you and I are both mediums. That's one thing, right?
Mhm.
But there are people that don't do this work, right?
Mhm.
And they might be feeling the same way.
Mhm.
That is what is so beautiful. We are all together. We're all in this together.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I hate to be like quoting so much tonight, but it does take a village.
It's true, but I love that you're quoting, because there are so many people here that are writing in the comments that how they're it's resonating with them, and
Yeah.
it's like, oh, somebody said earlier they needed to hear this.
Yeah.
And and that's, you and I've talked so many times that when we get on here, just let spirit, brrr,
Yeah.
it's so, yeah, thank you for quoting that. It's,
Yeah. I love
and I
that.
saw somebody on my Instagram. Oh, it's Jennifer. Hi, Jennifer. She says, it's terrifying, but not impossible. You will find strength in the journey. Show up for yourself.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what lesson I've been learning lately is and it keeps coming over and over and over. I keep hearing the message over and over in my head, is that, do you. I know that makes no, like, it might not make sense in terms, like, I need to maybe put a little bit of context in there, but like, don't, like, the big message that I got, it was like a couple of weeks ago. I got this message of, don't compare yourself to other people. You don't have to do things like anybody else. You can forge your own way.
Yeah.
Do you.
Mhm.
Do you. And all I could think of was, yeah, I'm going to do me. I'm going to do it my way. But it's interesting. My point in telling you that is that we all need to do you. We all need to do ourselves. You know what I mean? That sounds weird, but you know what I mean? It's like, it makes kind of no sense for us to follow along when you really start to think it through. It makes no sense for us to try to follow along in what everybody else is doing, because it's already been done. So who cares, right? Do you, and if you're having that moment where you feel like abandoned by spirit or whatever, or spirit, God, universe, whatever you want to call it,
Sure.
do what you feel like you need to do. Don't follow you don't have to follow. I mean, you can get ideas on ways to deal with it from us but the bottom line is, do you, so anyway, that's like my big message, this, like, and it keeps coming. Like, I'd never heard, okay, I had heard of it before, like the do you, like, it's like a hashtag, do you, who knew? So now all of a sudden it's coming all over the place,
Yeah. Yeah.
So really, this whole, so does anybody have any questions? Like, bring it on. Let's chat about this. Does anybody have anything? Sharon says, please hit the thumb button. Thank you.
Sharon. Oh, hi, Sharon.
Sharon, that's so
Oh,
cute.
I love Sharon. Thank you.
Oh my gosh. Linda says, that shines when people aren't there for you. I'm not sure what that means. I'm not sure in terms of what she was talking about, but
Priya on my Instagram writes, I'm going through a separation with my husband right now. It feels so scary, and the uncertainty of future is driving me nuts. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Everybody send Priya a little bit extra love tonight, because that is a very, very hard space to be in.
Priya, I'm pulling you a card. Oh, it's got to be that one. It was like, okay. Oh my gosh. I love when it's so synchronistic. Oh my God. I pulled the Starry Night and it says acceptance. So Priya, acceptance. But I'm not saying accept, like I'm not getting the message I'm getting from this isn't like accept that you're getting divorced and no, or you're separated or whatever it is that you're doing, right?
Mhm.
I'm saying accept yourself for who you are. That's what the message I'm getting for you, Priya. I hope that this serves you well, because it you don't there could be tons of things happening out there. There could be like tons of different ways to sort of decipher, is that the word I want, all the different things that people want to say to you about you and how you should be and all of that stuff. But you know what, the most important thing is that you accept yourself. And I much love to you, Priya. I mean, because I'm sure that that's very difficult. So yeah.
Mhm.
So gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. So who wants a reading? We're doing cards. We're doing cards tonight, right, Jeff?
Yeah.
We'll do some cards. Yeah. Oh, Spirit Detective says, can we injure ourselves in the dream state? Ooh, that's kind of an interesting question. I think emotionally we might be able to. I've
How
woken
so?
up from dreams and been like, but I don't know. What do you think? Hard one.
Well, I haven't heard of anybody hurting themselves in the dream state or the astral realm,
Uh-huh.
I have not heard that. So I mean, I really can't speak to it
Yeah.
through any experience of it, but and I'm a huge dreamer. I'm a
Yeah.
huge dreamer.
Mhm.
I haven't, and I've,
Yeah.
had some pretty crazy experiences, but I don't know, like do you feel who asked that? Do you feel that you did, or do you feel like that you may have and you questioned it? Where does the question come from?
Yeah, I don't know. I think hold on, go back.
Oh, you know what, Lauri?
Oh, it's Spirit Detective
There
says,
she is.
can we injure ourselves in a dream state?
Click on her. Click on that message, the one that says I had a physical. Oh, there you go. The next one.
Oh, the next one.
I had a physical altercation, and it involved strikes to my
Wait a minute.
head,
Oh my
and my head
gosh.
feels bruised. Oh, interesting.
Oh, here we go. Okay, there we go.
There it is. Hi, Spirit Detective. Okay, so yeah,
Wow.
I don't know how to answer that outside of flailing, physically flailing, which
Yeah.
I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've hit the wall. I've bruised my hand just from reacting in a dream and hitting
Yeah.
my headboard.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't, if that's, I mean, if that might feel like, could have happened.
Yeah, I've never heard of anybody having a problem in a dream state, like having a physical
Yeah.
issue, in a
Yeah.
dream. But you know what? I don't want to say no, because just because I've never heard of it
Yeah.
doesn't,
Yeah.
but you know what I would do though, Spirit Detective? You might want to you might want to do something like call in Archangel Michael maybe to help in your dream state, because he's the
Yeah. Yeah.
great protector and that sort of thing.
Do some clearing and healing around it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Oh my gosh. It was weird, but it seemed real. Yeah, I bet. I bet.
Mhm.
That's really strange. Interesting. Okay, so I'm gonna choose Kelsey Jade Deckening for a reading. Would love a little reading if possible. I'm gonna pull a card for you, Kelsey. And then actually, do you want to pull a card first?
Oh, for me. Okay.
Yeah,
This
sure.
is, what is the name on this?
Kelsey Jade Deckening. Hi, Kelsey.
Kelsey Jade. What a pretty name.
I know. That's gorgeous. She says, "Oh, thanks."
Okay, so the card that I have for you, Kelsey, is the abundance card. Okay. I can't tell. Is it clear? I took my glasses off. So the abundance card, but I want to talk about this because it's more than material. It feels to me like it's much more about your own awareness, your own connection with spirit, even your own deepening awareness within your own self, within your own soul. And within that is where we have limitless abundance.
Mhm.
And I feel like that this really is more of a reminder for you that is there for you, and that it's also expanding, like that aspect is expanding within you. It feels like you're going through a transformation of sorts as well with regard to your spiritual awareness. And I feel like that your spidey senses, so to speak, are tuning up, tightening up, and that in itself is a form of abundance as well. I hope that resonates with you, Kelsey.
Very interesting. So the card I pulled for you, Kelsey, it's the Garden of Venus, and it says rest and renewal. And Kelsey, when I tap into your energy, I'm feeling like you're really busy. Like I feel like that you've got a lot going on, and I feel like that you're like, my brain just wants to go here, no here, no here, there. I just feel like we're all over the place. And in terms of this card, I feel like that don't forget about yourself. That's really the message I'm getting there, is don't forget about yourself. Okay. You are allowed to say no. You're allowed to say yes. You're allowed to say, we're going to deal with that. I'm going to deal with that later. You're allowed to do you. God, it just keeps coming up like everywhere, You're allowed to do you in the way that you want to do you. Boy, I feel like I'm talking in code. It feels like I'm talking in code. It's kind of nutty,
That's awesome.
Oh, new baby, no time for myself.
Yeah.
There you have it. Yeah. But I hate to say it, but when I had my daughter, I did, oh my God. And nowadays people would go, oh, Lauri, I can't believe you did stuff like that, but the reality is, when Carly was real little, I went away for the weekend with the girls, we went and had a weekend. And it was gorgeous, and it was exactly what I needed. Yeah, it's bad. It's not, it's not bad. You feel guilty. Let me just put it to you, say it that way. You feel guilty, but it was exactly what I needed, because guess what? When I would go away for those few days or whatever, I would come back and I would feel like I'm a better mom, because I was able to, I was able to kind of, I was able to just get away and like breathe for a second, so yeah. So much love to you, Kelsey. Oh my gosh. Yes, that is self-care for sure. Absolutely. It is. So guess what? Cheryl, our dear friend Cheryl, would like a card. She's on my Instagram. Would you like to do a card? Here's me. Come on, Jeffrey. Come on, Jeffrey.
So Cheryl, this is Cheryl Murphy?
Yes.
Oh, Cheryl. Hi, Cheryl. Okay, so Cheryl, you got the spider card. This spider, I want to talk about what this means. It's about balancing your manifesting. That's what the card reads. But there's a lot more to it. There's the spider is the medicine of the spider is about creativity. And there's a lot of creativity that is happening in your world right now. It feels to me like you have a lot more projects than you normally would be working on. It feels to me like you've got like a lot more expansion, and with that expansion come a lot more projects and a lot more like services or offerings or you know what I mean? That I'm losing my words here. But anyway, with regard to that, with the spider energy, this creativity that just feels so abundant in your world, I want to encourage you to not forget to take that time for you. And as I say that, I know you're going on vacation. I know you're going on this big, beautiful vacation, and that is absolutely perfect. That's perfect, actually. Yeah. So you just have a ball, sweetie.
I love it. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I chose, my friend Cheryl, I pulled the will of the wisp. I love that term. And it says treasures hidden in the shadows. So let me just say here, I really feel like, Cheryl, that whatever you're working on right now, I feel like that it has the potential to be more than what you're thinking. Okay. Like, I feel like that you're working on something. I don't know what it is. I haven't talked to you in a little bit. So I'm like anxious to see what this is, right?
I was thinking the same thing.
I feel like that you're working on something. There's something going on that you're planning, and I feel like that it's like, it is all, not that not everything you do is completely spirit led, because I know it is, but I feel like that this is like heightening, like it's going to take you to another level. It feels really, really, gosh, what is the word I want to say? It feels really, really good, but it feels very forward thinking. It feels very, like it's going to take you to like the next level of, where you want to be, or, whatever that is. So, interesting. Oh, I can't wait to hear.
Me too.
Oh my gosh, that is super exciting. Oh my gosh. So cool. So much love to you, Miss Cheryl.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Okay, so now we have our dear friend Debbie would like a card as well. Debbie, I hope you're still here. Where's Debbie? Debbie. There we go. Debbie Romero. I love her. She is like, she is one of those mediums where she just kind of goes boom, 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 boom. And I'm just like,
I know.
watching her work is
Wow.
extraordinary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to do a card first, or do you want to, what are you going
to do? I got two cards for you, Debbie. The first card, which I had already put back, and I thought I had put it down, but I put it back in, but it was open door, and it's about saying yes. And I find it so interesting, that this, I think I just said this the other day on somebody's show, by making the rest of this year your yes year. And that was one of the first things that I wanted to talk about. But then the second card that came out again for the second time tonight is synchronicity.
That's amazing.
Destiny. So this it feels to me, Debbie, that there are a lot more projects that are coming your direction that I feel like you already are aware of. And I feel like you are like, you don't have the 100% go ahead, but there is a sense where that is actually in the process. And it's like, you're just waiting for the red tape and the powers that be. And it feels bigger. Like, it feels like, it could be scary, but scary in a good way. You know what I mean? Like, just because we're nervous when we're stepping out of our comfort zone, that kind of scary, but it just feels awesome. So I just want to, remind you to say yes with gusto.
Okay, so Debbie, I am feeling I don't do it as fast as you do, so just bear with me, Debbie. I am feeling either a cousin or uncle with you, very dark hair, and like quite a bit of hair. Let's just put it to you that way, right? Quite a bit of hair, like not really long this way necessarily, but here, right? I feel like that this person wants to partner with you in one of these whatever upcoming sort of ventures that you have. Do you have an uncle? It feels like I'm kind of going more towards the uncle side. Do you have an uncle in spirit that you talk to a lot, that sometimes might feel like they're sort of a guide, or
She says yes.
Oh, she said yes. Okay. I really feel like that this uncle really would love to partner with you in terms of whatever whatever the project is. I'm asking him what project you're talking about, and I'm getting crickets. Sorry, I had to use that word. I'm getting, not quite getting the actual what the project is, but yeah, boom. But I'm really kind of feeling like there's help coming from you. There's support, because I feel like that this particular project, whatever it is going to be different than your norm. Okay. It feels like it's going to be different than your norm. And he's telling me he's very funny and he's got a big personality. Okay. I'm feeling like that he's like,
Oh my God, yes.
I've got you on this. Oh yeah. So she knows who I'm talking about, right? I love it. I've got you on this. I'm going to be with you. It's going to be a little bit out of your norm, but don't let that stop you, which, anybody that knows Debbie on here knows nothing's going to let anything stop her. But seriously, yeah, just it's going to be a little out of the norm. He wants to be a partner with you. So that's so much fun. Yay. I love that. That was hilarious. Oh my God. He's awesome, by the way, too. He is really, really fantastic. So anyway, okay. So I have an idea. We have 4 minutes left. Okay. It can be more than 4 minutes. It doesn't have to be. All right. But, I would love for you, if you would, pull us a card and see what spirit, you know why I'm pushing you, right? So see what spirit has to say relating to this whole subject that we have been discussing tonight. Spirit, what does spirit have to say?
So a lot of things. So many of us, I'd say more of us than not, struggle with feeling like we're enough, feeling like we're worthy, feeling like we have any value. So many of us struggle with that. And a lot of this falls into that whole conversation that we were having earlier, where we enter the dark night of the soul and we lost relationships or careers or homes or whatever. And through that, when we're feeling the victim, our victim's online, and we're feeling like we're not enough. We're not good enough. Why wasn't I able to hold him? Why wasn't I able to hang on to my dream house? I'm not enough. But that is not the truth for any one of us. Just the mere fact that we are here in this lifetime together now at this point in time.
Yeah.
We all should have a badge of courage, because this it's such an enormous time to be here. Yeah. There are more people on the planet than there ever have been in the history of humanity. And the planet is reacting. The climate, the litter, all of this is synchronous, and we all deserve badges of courage. Just the fact that you're here, you are enough. And we, through society, through culture, religion, patriarchy, we are led to believe that we are not enough because we're women, or we're gay men, or gay women, or trans men, women, or poor. Let's talk about financial and economical levels. Come on.
Yeah.
So along with everything that we were talking about earlier, I want to remind all of us that we are enough, and that in remembering this, that little pilot light on our inside starts to get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. And that fires that flame of empowerment and self-love and self-acceptance. I think you got the acceptance card earlier, where we really just have to accept where we are, right? It's like one of I think it's the 12-step program that says acceptance is the first step. Well, okay, accept ourselves. Look in the mirror and accept how amazing you are. And that's huge. And any dark night of the soul, if we can just remember that from the very get-go, for every morning we open our eyes. You know, I don't know how many people here might follow Bashar, but Bashar is the channel. Daryl Anka is the channel, and Bashar is this extraterrestrial being that channels through Daryl, and he talks a lot about following your passion. And in this night of having these conversations where we feel abandoned, where we feel alone, where we feel like spirit's no longer around us, where it's nothing but crickets, in those moments, follow what lights your soul. Even if it's just for a moment, follow what lights your soul. And remember, you know, you're here for that, for what lights your soul. That's why you're here. And you're more than enough. And we're all so much better together. So we just have to remind ourselves, each and every one of us, we have to remind each other that we're enough.
Wow. That was freaking amazing. Like wow. That was, have you ever channeled? Like, do you channel sometimes? I mean, I that felt channeled, but do you ever channel?
I mean, well, I think that's coming.
I think it is too. Oh my God. Wow. That is amazing. Oh my gosh. Jeffrey, thank you for that. That was stuff that we really, really needed to hear, you know? That's amazing. So thank you for that. Wow.
Thank you.
You know, this was the perfect, you know, it's so funny because I try really hard to, you know, I like to live what I call a spirit-led life. And I try really hard to do what spirit says, even though I'm sitting here saying that I, you know, yell back at spirit sometimes. But no, I try to listen to the infinite wisdom. I really, really do. Right. And I knew that this conversation needed to be had. And I knew that this conversation needed to be had with Jeffrey. And if for nothing else, if anybody didn't listen to anything else and you heard that, that is all that matters. So amazing. Absolutely amazing. So, Jeffrey, do you have any upcoming stuff that you want to tell us about?
Or you just, you know what? I actually don't. I'm on the heels of, I'm going to vacation. So I've been like getting all the appointments out of the way, the dog stuff, you know, the shopping, the cleaning, all that stuff. So I'm going on vacation for a couple of weeks, and my October Sedona event is oversold, which is, I'm so grateful, and I can't wait to see all of you out there. Kevin and I are talking, we're making other plans. So that is something that is in the works. Be prepared for that. Awesome. And yeah, you know what? I'll just leave it at that. Reach out to me on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, at Jeffrey Peck Medium, all over the place. Yeah. And feel free to direct message me, email, however you need. I'm here with you.
Awesome. And because Jeffrey's, what is it, September or October retreat?
October
retreat is sold out. I and me and, how do you say that grammatically? Is that whatever? There's 4 of us, 2 spiritual mediums, a shamanic medium, a channel and mystic. We are doing a retreat in Sedona in June. So bring it on. And I just started, let's do that. So if you're interested in any information on that, I would love for you to check that out. Sedona is magical, and Jeffrey's retreat is going to be freaking insane. Oh my God. And at the end, you added on like a Reiki.
Oh yes. There's we're teaching 3 of us, me and Kevin Lewis and Debbie Hedberg, all teaching level 1 and 2 Reiki. October 20, 21, and 22. There are still 5 seats available.
Oh my God.
So if you're in the Phoenix area, Scottsdale area, Sedona, Flagstaff, in that neighborhood, you know, and you can get there, you know, please do join us.
Amazing. That's going to be incredible. You know, actually, that might be something I want to think about doing. I've never gotten, what is the, it's not like, not
Attuned?
certified. What is the word when you get Reiki? Attuned.
Yeah.
I'm attuned with Kundalini Reiki, but not the other. And it's kind of interesting. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, fun. So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you all so much. I'm here every Monday night at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So join us. Jeffrey does super spiritual. What is it called? Oh my God.
Something super spiritual.
I always forget the something super spiritual. So check him out on there. And thanks for being here, everybody. Have a beautiful evening.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.